So far I have created a slider in the homepage using Page Builder. I have styled this slider and added more content to it. Since slider is a content type that comes with the default Page Builder, I didn't have to write any JavaScript to make it work. For the next section that I have planned to develop, writing JavaScript is inevitable. So the next section I will develop is this: a carousel with some items of my choice. I will use the Page Builder to manage the content of this carousel, but I will make it work by writing my own JavaScript code. So, let's see how that's done. First, let's go and edit the content of the homepage. Since we are creating a new section, we will drag and drop a new row from Layout tab. Let's edit the configurations of this new row. By default, the new row is contained. I'll leave it like that. And by scrolling to the bottom of the page, I will give this row a class to identify it. Now let's save the configurations. I will start adding columns inside the row. And inside each column I will insert one image content type. I will repeat this process until there are 6 columns where each column has one image content type. And let's upload some images. I will now save the progress and see how things look in the storefront. As expected in the storefront, now we can see a grid with some images. The next step is to turn this grid into a carousel. I will do that by using Slick.js. Slick is a jQuery plugin for creating carousels. It is already included in the Magento core, so I just have to use it. The JavaScript of the materials section will be inserted in a new file, materials.js, which will be located inside the theme, web.js, sections directory. And the next step is to include this file, so that the system can read and execute the code inside. Before I do that, let's forget about Magento for a bit and see how we would normally do things in a static HTML file, index.html for example. To create a carousel using Slick in a static HTML file, we need to understand how the structure of HTML should be, and what JavaScript libraries to include. As for the structure of the HTML, it's simple. All the child elements of the class you reference will be the carousel items. Since Slick is a jQuery plugin, jQuery should be included first. After that we should include Slick.js. And then the script that will initialize the Slick. In a static HTML file, this is the order of the scripts that should be loaded. So, how do we do this in Magento? How do we load our materials.js file after jQuery and Slick? We do that by using Require.js. There is a lot that this library does, but at the moment let's keep the information minimal. We will use Require.js to define the loading order of our JavaScript files. jQuery is already loaded with Magento core, so is Slick, and since our slider in the previous videos worked, we know that the order of jQuery and Slick is correct, so we don't need to worry about these steps. What we need to do is load materials.js after jQuery and Slick. To do that, we will use this syntax of Require.js. By using define we are creating a Require.js module. This module is dependent on jQuery and Slick, so it will be loaded whenever it is called but only after jQuery and Slick. So now we know that if we initialize the Slick here, everything should be okay with the loading order of the scripts. So now it's time to load this module in all the pages and see if this module works. I will create a new file to the root of the theme directory. The new file will be RequireJS config.js. This file will have a single root object config, which will contain the configuration options. As we progress more in these videos, we will learn more and more about the configurations inside this file. For the moment, the first configuration will be deps. Adding the path of the files inside this configuration will load those files in all pages. Now let's flush the cache. And revisit the storefront. We now have a basic carousel in homepage. The goal of this video was to demonstrate how to create the carousel. I added some more content to this carousel using the page builder, and I also added some styles. And now it looks like this. You can always find the code in my GitHub account. I will leave the link in the description. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching.